The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Okay, I've been reading a lot of Deepak Chopra, okay? And I'm going back in time a lot. And I realized something. Back in the day, when Bertuzzi or Naslund or Henrik or Daniel had bad games, I always just thought the next game they would score like 5 points, okay? That's how much of a child I was. I always had this other level of belief, right? And here I am in April at 30 and a half years old. Holy, 30 and a half years old, and I'm talking a lot of ish about Elias Pettersson this morning. It just doesn't sit right, okay? Because it's us against the world, right? Let's believe in Elias Pettersson, okay? The guy who got all of this truly started here on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks, this time at a different hour. Let me check my watch. Anywho, we're at the Don't Doze Art Lab, the place of the West Coast bias. Let's look after our neighbors so we can look after the world. You know, we say that on every episode of Locked On Canucks, the show that gives you your Canucks every day. And we say that because it's the truth, right? That mantra, it's us against the world. It's so much bigger than just the statement, okay? Because it's the truth. Human beings, right? You go outside, you see us, okay? We're here on the West Coast, the best coast of Canada. Chances are, when you cross by somebody else, they're somewhat connected to the Vancouver Canucks, okay? For real. So in retrospect, it's the truth. It's us against the world, the NHL world. It feels like that. And right now, for a lot of reasons, right? I can count on one hand, half a hand, how many goals Elias Pettersson has in his last 15 games. I know. But man, oh man, it seems like it's also us against Elias Pettersson, a guy who holds a big piece to this equation, right? Playoff success in the now. And for whatever reason, maybe it was the drive through downtown Vancouver on my first day back at work. But something just felt off. And it was probably this morning, okay? We dropped an episode, right? Elias Pettersson, rock bottom. Boom, bam. And there I was saying the wrong things, okay? For real. There was one note I made that made me, again, second guess myself. It made me feel a little twisted. Because again, if I'm all about the West Coast bias and looking after our neighbors, how can I say these things about Elias Pettersson, especially wrong things, all right? And I alluded to the fact that this guy doesn't want it, okay? And I know he competes. He wants that. He wants to win. But I was zoning in on the fact that because he passed off that first empty netter to Garland, that he doesn't believe in himself. He doesn't want that goal. He doesn't want to take that shot. He's no longer that guy in this moment. And that makes no sense at all. Because if you look at the film from last night, more than ever, yes, in his worst game of the series, more than ever, Elias Pettersson offensively was noticeable. And a big reason for that was his want to score. He put a lot of pucks on net, or tried to, just like the rest of the team. I think that number is 7 or 9 shot attempts. That's quote unquote wanting it. Anyway, I was, again, wrong and thinking, and then this whole playoff thing came to mind, right? What time is it? It's 6:30, April 24th. The Canucks are back in the playoffs. Life is great. It feels amazing to do what I was meant to do, and that's watch meaningful hockey here on the best coast, the West Coast of Canada. And Pettersson is so big to that escapism that I'm enjoying, right? He's the one that got the party started. He was here before Quinn Hughes. He was here right after Henrik and Daniel said goodbye. And also, he's one of us. I said it from the top, right? Back in the day when I was a young chap cheering for the Canucks. For whatever reason, there's probably some dope psychology, right? On this subject. But back in the day when I was young, and Bertuzzi and Naslund, or Trevor Linden, or whomever, right? Joe Vanoski, Dan Kluche, Roberto Luongo, when those guys would suck, it was crazy. Every time they sucked, I would never use any hate. I would just use hope. You know, that a bad game would be followed by a 5-point night or a shutout. That was the constant way of fandom back in the day. And as I've gotten older, it's been different. And again, for a lot of reasons, right? That's just the truth. Speaking of which, look at Bob Bluger saying that I'm high off a Dayquil right now. Hey, I'm meted up. And it got me here, feeling the love for the Vancouver Canucks. And on that note, especially for the rest of the series when we need Pettersson more than ever, right? Demko is down. You need another star to step up. I'm going to just believe in the guy and stop talking so much ish. Okay. And I'm going to believe in a guy that, again, was more noticeable than ever in all the good ways. And I know he was also more noticeable than ever in all the worst ways, literally. But there's a potential breakthrough, right? Sprinkled at the top of all this mess based on, again, things being a little different last night. He wanted more than he's wanted in recent history when it comes to the hockey games that he was playing. He made that clear. I think he's on the up. What was the thing I said? Okay, rock bottom, right? And what's the cliche? Once you go rock bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And I demanded that he'd spend a ton of his money on a jetpack so we could just go straight to the stars. Okay, we don't need to climb here back to the top. We need this guy to ascend there. Must I remind you, Thatcher Demko no longer just out for the series, potentially out for round 2 if that's a thing for your Vancouver Canucks. They need Pettersson more than ever. Now, where was I going with this? Okay, I believe in Pettersson. He's that guy. I think the coach, Rick Tocchet and company, believe in him too. They're doing all the right things. It may sound improbable because, again, since the All-Star break, this guy has... I don't even want to go there, okay? Only good vibes only. Good vibes only. Speaking of which, good vibes only. The organization, man, they want this guy to succeed. They're going to put him in places to succeed. And based on some of the comments that we heard last night from Pettersson and Tocchet, there seems to be an understanding that, okay, this is enough. This ends here. And I hope that Game 3 in Nashville is a must-see TV for a guy that can provide just that. Well, let's get to some of the comments before we get out of here. I'm only here for a short time, not a long time tonight. Look at Dale Smith, okay, saying cool vibrations. That's what it's all about, right? Again, reading a lot of Deepak Chopra. There's also this book right here, too, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. At 30 and a half years old, I'm taking it back. I'm kicking it back. And I'm only hoping the best for those athletes who put on our city's jersey and try to make us cool again. Try to make us champions. Try to make our dream come true. Maybe I'm also feeling this way because 13 months ago, right? All that progress that was being made, there I was hating on it because it was wrecking our lottery odds. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward 13 months and I'm having the time of my life, especially with you and you and you and you. Look at Bob, okay? If Pettersson plays poorly on Friday, we're going to see Dark NyQuil Kyle again. Dude, it's not going to happen, okay? My life changed. You don't even know what happened to me about 20 minutes ago. Pulled up to the parking lot. Some dude named Dale. I met him for the second time. The friendliest dude ever. He just spit wisdom. Wisdom. By the rock. By the water. Here at the Don't Doze Art Lab. What a guy. Really put a lot into perspective prior to this recording and this live show. And if Pettersson plays bad on Friday, bro, I'm going to have his back because we're only going to be down 2-1. Or, maybe he doesn't play well and we win, because that's very possible against this Nashville team. Just believe in Pettersson. It's not that hard to do. I mean, it's not that hard to do. He plays on your team, okay? He's one of your neighbors, potentially. He's done a lot for us. I don't think Alvin and Rutherford are trading for Nikita Zadorov in year 1.5 of this quote-unquote resurgence if they don't have a guy like Pettersson on their team, right? Because this team, after again being a joke prior to this season, really traded assets in November for Nikita Zadorov. They're not doing that if they also know that they have this wild card, and that's having one of the best guys on their team, Elias Pettersson, and Quinn Hughes, and JT Miller. Leaning on that stardom, man. Oh, there's a Dale in the comments. I forgot about that, man. Hey, what are the chances, bro? This is it. If you're here with me right now and watching this later, this is it. This is the retrograde power grade they talk about, right? Astronomy or whatever, you know? Boom, bam. What are the chances of that, man? And this is the guy saying good vibrations. Oh, look at this, Mr. Whale. I know Pettersson is going to start getting puck luck, and all the haters are going to shut the beep up. Yeah, man. Pettersson's going to definitely tell me to shut the... For real, he is. He is. Because again, I was saying some sour things this morning. I was sick. Keep in mind, I was in bed. I didn't have my medicine, right? I was also emotional. It's part of being a fan. But yeah, this time around, at this point, going into game 3 of round 1 of the first playoff series, real one since 2015. I'm just going to kick it back to childhood and again, believe in those guys, right? Believe only the most fruitful things, because why not, right? It's us against the world. Mr. Whale again, okay? Pooping on Pettersson isn't going to get us anywhere, right? Come on, man. You guys watched Dragon Ball Z, right, back in the day? Remember that spirit bomb? Good vibes, man. Good vibes. Save the world. Let's put some good energy out there, man. I like this comment, though, okay? We're all a team. Got to stick together. One love. You know why? You know why I love this comment? Because I read it wrong the first time around. And maybe because my eyes are playing tricks on me. I thought you mentioned the lotto line. I still think we may see a lot of that in game 3, okay? Think about this. Let's say the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators, they have a game, right? Game 3, blah, blah, blah on Friday. And there's a cold first period from both teams, which is a strong possibility. And the period number 2 happens. And what happens, okay? 3 minutes into the period, after an offensive zone shift, after a Nashville icing, Rick Tocchet puts out the lotto line. And finally, they, hit the lottery. They score 1. Pettersson scores it. They find some mojo. You know what's going to happen next, right? Rick Tocchet is not going to wait for an offensive zone face-off to put that line out there again, to play that button. It's going to be a thing. And that's definitely a wild card. If that line can get going at any point against the Nashville Predators, right? We're playing the Nashville Predators. If that line gets going, bro, they can win this series with Casey DeSmith in net. Bob Bluger, okay? Coach's last resort before he finally puts the lotto line back together. A last resort could be one of his first resorts in game 3 again. And a part of me hopes it works. Like, they're a fun line. They're a fun line. And if you look at the route to unlocking a fully swagged out Elias Pettersson, right? We're talking about a true ascendance. He starts scoring goals, and those are his line mates, and they've had chemistry in the past. They've done great things in the past. Heck, a couple months ago, they put on a must-see TV pay-per-view event type hockey, game in and game out for 4 games or 3 games. If that happens again, Pettersson's game will really, really take off. He'll become that alien again, right? He'll get off onto space, okay? He'll be in space, and he'll be that alien, and one love to Jason Boshford, man. I thought about him too, okay? Because I feel as if around this time, he'd be that guy to just tell us to RELAX and shut the beep up, right? I believe in Pettersson, man. Their connection, right? Pettersson and Bochford, something else. Remember Pettersson's Rookie of the Year speech at the NHL Awards. You rarely see that, right? Year 1, this guy's shouting out a media member, and it's because, again, Bochford always had his back, always knew that this guy was going to be one of those guys. And why not lift Pettersson up a bit here? Help him out. Again, that good energy. One love. let's end the episode, okay? My name's Kyle Bowen, again here at the Don't Doze Art Lab. A little bonus conversation about Elias Pettersson. That's where I'm at, okay? I'm only putting good vibes out there. You know what I'm saying? Well, why not? It's us against the world. Everyone else, right? The East is finally talking about the Canucks. They're holding on to it. Made a lot of content around Elias Pettersson not being that guy. What's wrong with Pettersson? Blah, blah, blah. Dude, okay, you guys are all hating. I'm going to change my angle and just support with optimism and love. And just be a child again, okay? Why not? I'm leaning into this whole, like, the Canucks are back thing. I really am. My name's Kyle Bowen, Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. The Canucks are still winning this series in 5 games. Why not? That's not the West Coast bias speaking. That's just, again, a young Kyle Bowen speaking. We're going to end it on that note. A young Kyle Bowen. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily